So welcome here. Today, I am the host. My name is Jokri, and I'm very honored to be invited to host this event, thanks to LIGHTSPEED Studios. So today, we are going to have this panel discussion called Collaboration Creativity, Building Original Game IP at LIGHTSPEED Studios. So we only got 1 hour, but we have very important person sitting next to me. So I'm going to make myself as short as I can to ensure that we will have enough time to listen to their insights. So this is the same. I'm not going to repeat this anymore. So let me just briefly introduce you guys to these two persons. I guess a lot of you already know who they are. One is the head of the LIGHTSPEED Studios, LA, Los Angeles, who's been involved in very famous open world games in the past decades, such as Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto. So welcome Steve Martin joining us. So the next one is coming from the Eastern, coming from Japan. He's right now leading the LIGHTSPEED Studio Japan. And he's also very well known for some of the very famous masterpieces in the past 3 decades, such as Devil May Cry, Dragon's Dogma. So let us welcome Mr. Hideaki Itsuno-san. So we are going to have a lot of the productive discussions today, hearing what they're going to say about the current situation of the game industry and what LIGHTSPEED Studios has been doing, and what will be the trend in the next 5 years or 10 years of this game industry. Yes, let us just start with Steve first. So about the rundown, we're going to do a one-on-one. I'm going to discuss with these two gentlemen separately, and then we will come into a joint conversation session. And the last part will be the Q&A. So any of you who want to raise your hand, please don't regret to do that. And the last part will be the photo shooting and try to have some of the autographs if you guys would like have. And also I will be interpreting Itsuno-san's speech and his how he replied to you guys from Japanese to English as well. Hope you guys like it. So let me just start with Steve. So, these years it's been quite tough. Everybody knows about the industry, right? And a lot of the veterans understand that if you want to develop a game, it's always very easy and fast to create the sequels or numbering titles. But as a lot of you guys are aware of, right now, LIGHTSPEED Studios right now LA is doing brand new games. So what exactly motivates you guys to do this? Because it's a lot harder and tougher.
Yes, it definitely is. And I will say that whenever I talk to a lot of the business people in the industry and those that look at all the numbers and understand the intricacies of everything, they're always like, why are you guys doing this? This is so risky. Why are you doing this? It's like, you just need to do safe things. I just fundamentally disagree. I think the problem with a lot of where we are in the industry right now, and it's a really tough time. It is really, it's probably the worst I've seen, and I've been making games 29 years. But I think one of the problems is that people just aren't going out and buying the same number of games. The reason they're not going out and buying the same number of games is because they've kind of seen it all before. What our gamers are telling us, what we tell ourselves when we look for games, is give me something new, give me something original, give me something fun. And we do see in the industry when something new comes out, everyone goes crazy for it. Whether that's, Elden Ring was a very, very special and original game. We have that come out. You have even like Baltero, you have it doesn't really matter what kind of game it is. If it's something fresh and exciting, the audience loves it. And the audience is just telling us, give us something new. So I love IP. IP is an amazing thing. But I think for us, it's counterintuitively much riskier to keep making sequels. Because I think what the industry is telling us is we don't really care. Right. So I don't know, maybe everyone else disagrees with me, but I think the least risky thing is go out there, be super bold, be super brave, and make what you believe the audience wants.
Right. Actually, I like Elden Ring and Battletoads as well, which, brand new things always, can bring people back to be energized and to realize that, we are making something innovative. I think that should be the spirit you guys are following right now. Right?
Yeah, and even as developers, like, we love making new things. You know, we love having infinite possibilities.
No
so
creators,
it's more fun as well.
Yeah, no creators want to repeat themselves always. Right?
Exactly.
So, what specific challenges have your team encountered lately when you guys trying to crafting something original and brand new? Tell us.
Well, I think whatever creative medium you're using, as soon as you start with a blank page, it's pretty much the hardest thing there is. But if you can build everything, how do you make any decisions? But I think really just focusing on what you're very, very passionate about, something that you like truly, truly love, and you're going to pour your heart into it. I mean, I was asked, you can make any game. What game do you want to make? What I went to was all the things that I loved when I was first becoming, in the industry. Movies like Blade Runner and watching, anime or reading manga like Akira and Attack on Titan and just all these influences, and it was like that's something I haven't been able to make before. That's what I want to go make, and then it's making sure you're not being precious about it, So bringing in other creatives who are going to take your idea and then kind of make you realize your idea wasn't that good, and they're going to make it better, and then you work together and not being precious. I mean, those are the things that are really, really exciting about this process. But to answer your question, I mean, I think not pretending. Make something you're passionate about. And if you're not passionate about it, make something else. Because that passion is what's going to not only drive you through to complete the project, it's what's going to make the project special. Because we know as gamers, when we play, you can tell when a team's loved making a game.
Right.
And that's really what people want.
Sounds good. So talking about the things you've been doing right now in your studio, is there any chance that you can share to the audience here today about what you guys been doing lately, especially is anything that you can do as an update to about the last ascending?
Everyone wants an update. I mean, we're at the stage where we are still being pretty quiet about the game, but I can say that, we hear a lot of stories about, games struggling, games getting canceled, teams closing, all that. Right. One thing I can assure everyone is we're in full production, and we're way closer in the end than we are the beginning. We've got our entire, we're a narrative open world, so we have a full cast. We're getting close to completing a lot of our motion capture. Like, we're really starting to get to the end of the heavy lifting of production. So I don't know if we're going to be revealing much this year, but it's coming soon, and I'm really, really, really excited about showing everyone more. But all I can say is that we're making great sites. The team are working incredible. I mean, being surrounded by the number of talented people, like new people and veterans that we have, it's really inspiring. So.
Oh, okay. So may I ask one question which is not on the list? So. We've been actually watching you guys, keeping doing a lot of things lately, and a lot of the audience, public, saw the very first trailer quite some time ago. So will there be any chance you guys reveal something as the announced trailer sometime this year or later? I'm not sure about that.
Timing, I'm not going to commit to.
Okay.
What I will say is, and I think, it's just kind of a philosophical thing of how we do everything at Lightspeed LA. We think, what does the gamer want? If I'm sitting on the outside looking at this game, don't give me another cinematic trailer. Show me the game. So next time we show you something, we'll show you the game, because that's what I'd want to see if I was you. So.
Wow, sounds very promising. Thank you, Steve. So I'm gonna move to the next part, and. Yes, it's, as you guys can see, it's called Global Perspective on Game Development. But actually, this part is for Itsuno-san. He had prepared quite a long time for giving you guys more of many of his insights today. So I'm gonna use the English to ask him in the questions first and translate myself in Japanese. And so it sounds a bit complicated, but I'll be sure you guys will understand what I'm talking about. So the very first question is we want Itsuno-san to introduce what he's been doing after joining Lightspeed as a head of Lightspeed Japan Studio, and also introducing what the studio has been doing lately. せっかくですから、去年ライトスピードスタジオジャパンに入ってから代表に就任してからの役割について紹介いただければ、あとはですね、スタジオ自体今の進捗についても軽くに紹介お願いします。はい。
はい。去年の秋からライトスピードジャパンの方で責任者としてやらせていただいてますが、とにかくライトスピードスタジオからはオリジナル IP を日本のアクションゲームを作る技術と経験で立ち上げてほしいという話がありまして、僕もちょうど新規のゲーム、AAA の新規のゲームっていうのを作るチャンスっていうのが欲しかったところなので、条件が一致してライトスピードさんにお世話になることになりました。で現在は新プロジェクト、開発環境を整えながら企画、遊びのところも大体固まっているところなんですが、今はストーリー、世界観、キャラクターに関して、詰めているところになります。
はい、わかりました。So he had joined Lightspeed Japan Studio last fall, and as the representative of the studio. So the foundation was he had a very strong consensus with Lightspeed's top management team that he wanted to do something very innovative, AAA action games, which is very Japanese style. And everybody agreed on that. So he established this studio. And right now, together with his team, they're preparing to do the foundation of the game's development, including establishing the development environment of the game, as well as the story, the narrative, and the very basic concept of the game, which is they've been doing right now. So the next question is, from your perspective, what is the most exciting thing about Lightspeed's approach to the original IP? で、次の質問については、いつのさんから見れば、ライトスピードスタジオに活性した一番完全新作を作るとき一番刺激的なアプローチは何なんでしょうか。お願いします。
はい、僕がずっとオリジナル IP 作るにあたって大切にしてきたことっていうのは、新しい遊びを提供するっていうところです。昔から新規作るときは新しい体験がユーザーに伝わらないと意味がないよって言われて、教育されてきたのもありまして、で今回その新しい遊びを提供できるという環境を用意してくれる、作っていいよ、という形になりましたので、それに対して一番今楽しんで作ってるところですね。新しい遊びをね、開発者にするとき一番みんな喜んでくれるんですよ。それいいよね、それいいよねっていう、そこを今一番楽しんで作ってるところですね。はい、
So from my perspective, actually, I've been doing a lot of the brand new games in my past decade's career till right now. So it's very important and to do something that always to try that people something new that other people have never tried before. And from my perspective, I was like, this is what I've been taught and what I've been educated and what I've become right now. So my feeling is I feel very excited that the Lightspeed Studio gave me this chance to have this environment and to have this chance to challenge something brand new, and because to developer it's always super surreal and excited to see that to create something that people will wow, something like that. So this is what I feel most delighted and happy to be a part of the Lightspeed Studio. Yeah. Right. So next question is, そうですね。Based on your experience at Capcom 様ですね。Oh, sorry, I use Japanese during English. So based on your experience at Capcom, what principles guide your approach to creating original game concept? そうですね。カプコンで就任した時がたくさんの斬新な IP を作った経験があるじゃないですか。はい、例えばデビルメイクライとか、あとは、ドラゴンドグマとか似たような、それが何かそうですね、プリンシプみたいな原則みたいなことが、磯野さんから見れば、今新しいのゲームのコンセプトを作るとき活かせることなんでしょうか。
はい、さっきもあったんですけど、常に新しい要素を入れなさいよと。ストリートファイター0を作ってる時もそうだったんですけど、新しい遊びが入ってなかったら新しいナンバリングしちゃダメだよってまず言われて、だから、ダッシュとかアッパーとかターボとかつくやつは違うくて、新しい番号がついた時に新しい遊びのシステムが入ったりとかっていうところを大切にしてみました。でデビルメイクライの、僕は2の途中から入ったんですけど、シリーズにしてもドラゴンズドグマにしてもまず5秒10秒画面見た時、もしくは画面写真いくつか見た時におっって二度見するような新しい要素っていうのが、なければ、お客さんまず手に取ってもらわないことが多いので、そういうのが入っているように、しなさいよって教えられてきたので、それを守って作っています。
Right. So when I was working for Capcom, I made a lot of the new games. So I was always taught, and always I bear in my mind that we must put something brand new that people had never seen or played before. So especially when we were taught that we want to do something as a sequel, a numbering title, such as when I did Street Fighter Zero, something like that. So we have to use something element completely new, brand new, to stimulate our customers' game experience, and also to bring something to refresh their mind. If not, we will just use some other title instead, such as recommend dash, not numbering title. And also for the game that you guys are aware of, are very familiar with, such as Devil May Cry 2, because I joined in the middle of the development, and also including the Dragon's Dogma series. So no matter what kind of things I make, there's always also principle that if you, assuming that we let customer to staring at the screen for like 5 to 6 to 10 seconds, and you ought to make them screen and to be impressive. Otherwise, it will be very meaningless to make such a kind of the new games. So that should be part of the principles that I should take for the upcoming new projects. So the next question: what lessons from your past projects that are relevant to original IP creations that you're doing right now? で、昔から作り上げたの、有名なタイトルシリーズから例えばですね、デビルメイクライとかドラゴンドグマとか、何か教訓とか教えとか今の新しい作っているものに対する生かせるものか教えていただければと。
はい、これってあれかな、今次新しく作るやつに対して。
そうはい、昔作ったもの。
そうですね、遊びに関しては次のゲームもちょっと今まであんまなかったなっていう感覚、ユーザーにこれ初めてゲームで感じたなみたいな感覚を入るような、 ものっていうのが必ず入れるというところで、今進めていたりします。ドラゴンズドグマを作った時とかだと敵にこう登ってね、しがみついて登っていく絵面でちゃんと自由にそれができるようなゲームっていうのがなかったので、そういうのが思いついた時にこれがいけると思ったりとか、あとそのオフラインなのに、他人とフォンのデータを非同期のオンラインに、でも一緒に遊んでるような気持ちが味わえるような、アイデアを思いついたとかっていうところと合わせてね、ドラゴンズドグマとか作ってたりしたんで、今回もその新しい気持ちに新しい楽しみを感じられるようなものというのは必ず入れていくというふうに考えています。
It's basically still the same things that I had mentioned. So what I try to do is always trying to push ourselves to the limit to bring the experience a user had never been experienced before. So taking Dragon's Dogma's gameplay as the example. So when we were trying to do this, what we achieved was the system that you're allowed to climb up to the body of the giant enemy and to try to do this kind of the related surrounding gameplay. So which was something that before Dragon's Dogma, a lot of the other action games never achieved before. So this is a bit hard to elaborate that what kind of things we are going to bring to the brand new game we're making, but the principles or these kind of experiences are always a treasure that motivates me to keep going. This is what I try to share here. So the next one is, what do you believe is the core that allows a successful game to transcend cultural barriers and excite gaming players globally?
次の質問に対してはやはり逸野さんの観点から見ればどうやって言語文化のバリアを超えて、グローバルの皆さんに愛されているものを作るんでしょうか。
今まで作ってきたゲームでもそうなんですけど、世界中の人が共通して、心に残るとか心を動かすような要素っていうのを中心に添えていくっていうことを、気にしています。例えば家族の関係であるとか、恋愛の話であるとか、であとは大人になるまでの学校での経験とか教育上での経験であるとかっていう、なるべく世界中のいろんな人に対して、違う文化価値観が入り込んでこないような、固定した心を動かす要素っていうのを中心に組み立てていくっていうのが大事だろうし、それが世界でまんべんなく売れるゲームを作るコツかなと思ってはいます。
So I believe that using the element which are always universal to peoples living in different regions, countries, and no matter where you are, such as the family relationship, and also the falling in love with somebody, or the experience when you become adults, that you go to school each day, which is something very can touch all the audience, make people feel like this is something I can echo as always. This is something that I believe that even we're living in different regions and speaking different languages, but we are sharing the same experience. So when we use such kind of the elements to create a game that we want to ship to the global market, it's always can resonate. That's what my opinion. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the session that we talk to each other one-on-one. So I bring two gentlemen together to do the joint conversation for talking about the future game development.
So じゃあ次はジョイントカンバセーションに行きましょう。
そうですね。So the first question is a bit weird. So if you can revisit one of the your games that you have ever made in the past, but by using the cutting-edge, latest technology nowadays, what kind of what game will you choose, and please tell us why. I think we can start from Steve.
That's actually easy. Bully, 100%.
Bully. So reason, yeah.
Reason was, I mean, it was a long time ago. I keep forgetting how long ago it was, but I adored making that game. It was so refreshing and so fun. I won't lie, the controversy around it was kind of fun as well, because we got to see exactly how much politicians did not understand video games. It was a little disturbing, you know, when you see a magazine cover and you've been accused of building a Columbine simulator. And we're like, but there's no guns in the game and no one dies. So it was a bit weird. But as a game, I mean, just that feeling of recreating being a kid and like having to go to class sounds really boring, but it was really fun. And we were kind of worried it was going to be dull when you were doing it, but it was fun. And, you know, pranking each other and doing Halloween and Christmas. It was like, I don't know, it was a time when games were really kind of hyper-violent, and it was this huge breath of fresh air, and I think it just gave everyone a bit of a smile and a bit of a laugh. And right. I don't know, one, I love the game, but two, I think we could all do with a bit of a smile and a bit of a laugh right now. So I think Bully would be the game I'd do.
Cool. I think we can talk to the Rockstar to see if this can be achieved. I really want you to get the platinum trophy of Bully as well.
Well, I'm sure Dan Houser would be up for it. That's for sure.
Okay. So let me ask Itsuno-san. じゃあそうですね。スティーブの選択はブリ。理由としてはちょっと最新技術で再現することはちょっと面白いゲームになるかもしれませんが、磯野さんは昔作り上げたゲームの中でどうしても一つ選ぶならお答えは教えていただければと思います。
はい。まずブリぜひ作ってもらいたいんですけど、ライトスピードでは難しいか。思いましたっていう。
So he also want you to remake the Bully, but maybe it's a bit hard for Lightspeed Studio to approve that.
Probably.
この質問に対してずるい答えになるかもしれないんですけど、もう僕もいい年なんですよ。ですげえたくさんゲームをこれから生み出していけるっていう可能性がそんなめちゃくちゃあるとは思ってはいないっていうところがあって、リメイクしたいゲームいっぱいあるんですけど、やっぱりそのお金と時間あんねやったら新しいやつ作らせてもらえませんかと。まだ作りたいけど作ってへんゲームが5、6個あるんで、それを作りたいっていうのがちょっとずるいですけど答えですね。はい。
Maybe my answer sounds a bit avoiding what we were just asking, but as you guys can see, I'm a bit of the aged man. So my time for me to keep creating new games are not that much compared to young men. So I did my own math, assuming starting from now on, maybe I can make like 5 or 6 games. Yeah, that's pretty much my limit. So I was like, if there's a chance can be given for me to create games, I'd rather prefer to do something brand new that I had never made before. So this is my answers. So yeah. What's your take, Steve?
Maybe I'm in denial about how old I am. Hey, I do, for anyone that really does love Bully out there, just a little snippet to share with you. So, kind of my biggest partner in crime making that game was, and he'll hate me for using his name because he doesn't like publicity, is the main design guy, this guy called Sergei Kuprianov. We worked on a ton of games. We worked on Max Payne 3, and we worked on a bunch of things at Rockstar with that. Sergei is the head of mission design for Last Sentinel. So him and I have worked together about 20 years now. So anyone that likes those games, that's like the head of design for missions for Last Sentinel. So if you like that, keep an eye on his new work because it's going to be special. Him and a guy called Ross Wallace working together. Cool. Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys a very big question that may bother you to think about.
This one's weird, and this one's going to bother us.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just the one who repeat the question on the list. Sorry.
It's all right. I forgive you.
So a lot of people have been talking about the latest trend, the current of the game industry, each year's GDC. A lot of people is talking about a lot of things at the same time, but today, since Steve and Itsuno-san have been working in this industry for nearly or over 3 decades. So I would like them to introduce, to let them do the prediction of what it will be about making AAA games in the next 5 years. What will be the trend? So still, starting from Steve. Yeah.
As with many things in life, I'm pretty opinionated about this. So I'm sick of hearing about the death of AAA games. I'm sick of this narrative of negativity. We know there are players that like all different kinds of video games. Whether it's games of service, mobile phone games, AAA games. There's still a lot of RTS players out there. People like a lot of different things. I don't think there's any genre that dies. I think what the public is telling us is we've got a lot of choice. We've got all the streaming services, we've got TikTok, we've got YouTube, we've got all these different things we can do at that time. We will no longer accept mediocrity. Give us a good game. If that good game is a card game, it's a card game. If it's a AAA game, it's a AAA game. So I think that I don't want to say that what's going on right now is positive because there are too many people hurting in our industry. But I do think the longevity of our industry is really, really positive because I think what it's doing is it's telling us stop making poor games and telling us that they're good. Make good games. We need to not fall into the trap that Hollywood fell into, which was, okay, we're really, really frightened. Let's keep remaking the same movie over and over and over again. We definitely need another Batman origin story, because people really, really want that. Sure, I'm a huge Batman fan, so, I'm okay with that. But I think it's the same with us. I mean, we've got so many amazing creative people in our industry, and our audience rewards bravery. So we kind of got to be brave. You got to take a risk. It was a good friend of mine had said to me a while ago while I was staring at how much money he was gambling per turn of a card on blackjack while I was putting as small amount of money as possible. And he's like, well, I gamble assuming I'm going to win. I'm like, well, it's a good way of losing a ton of money, but it's probably the only way of winning a ton of money as well. So, yeah, I think the trajectory of our industry is really fantastic if the creatives lead our industry. If finances lead our industry, I think we're kind of in a bad spot because we've just watched it happen with Hollywood, and we need to do something different. So up the creatives, and I think we'll make fantastic things. When we make fantastic things, people will buy them. When people buy them, our industry will be stable, and we'll have more fun.
Thank you. Fantastic answers. じゃあ、Itsunoさんはいかがなんでしょうか。これから5年はそのトリプル A の作りの環境がどう進化するかについては、はい、お願いします。
実際にどう進化するかっていうのはちょっと難しいところではあるんですけど、今後5年10年こういうふうに進化してほしいなっていうところに関してはグラフィック的な進化とボリューム的な進化でいうともう遊びきれないし実写と見間違うぐらいのところまで来てはいると思うので、業界できれば業界全体で、予算が10分の1で作れるように制作期間が3分の1で作れるようにっていうようなところ、あとハードの値段がそうだな5分の1ぐらいになるようにみたいな努力で技術をそっちの方に使うっていうのを我々含め業界みんなで進めていって小学生がもっと熱狂できるようなトリプル A のゲームみたいなのを気軽に開発者が作っていけるようなっていうのを、5年は難しいですけど今後10年先に向けては考えていかないと業界がしんどいなとは思ってはいます。
Actually, I think it's a bit hard for me to predict what it will be like in the next 5 years about making AAA games. But I want to share my insight of what I want. What I want the environment or the entire technology will be in the next 5 years, because as a lot of you guys are aware of, recently everything is becoming quite hard and difficult to craft. So. First of all, I would like to say that if we can develop something that the technology allows us to create a game which is like only 10% of the cost compared nowadays to create AAA games, and also which can save us a lot of time, such as like right now you're gonna need at least 3 to 5 years to craft one AAA game, but maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, there's a technology can let us shorten the development period to maybe 1 or 2 years, which make a lot of developers happy to and more efficient. And also, talking about the hardware, right now it's a bit too expensive. Maybe the price for the customer to purchase the hardware can be lowered to like a 20% compared to what it is right now, because right now it's too hard, difficult, too expensive for young customers to buy a new console hardware. So what we're trying to do, and what my expectation to the future technology of doing the AAA game is, if the customer can, especially the elementary school students, they can be easily afford to purchase the hardware and to play these kind of games. Maybe it's a bit tough to be achieved in the next 5 years, but let's say if we can together try to make it happen in next decade, next 10 years. So if not, all of the developers will feel very struggle to keep doing this kind of work. Yeah. Okay. So Steve, talking about this, how is LIGHTSPEED Los Angeles Studios preparing for this kind of if assuming in next five years a lot of things going to happen, is there any preparations you guys are talking about internally to make it to prepare for these changes?
Yeah, I mean it's no secret throughout our industry games are becoming too expensive to make.
Yeah.
If you actually, it's funny because I know if you look at the cost of buying a game over the past 20 years, it hasn't come even close to keeping up with inflation.
Right.
So we're losing loads, like all this income, but the costs are going up. So, we're getting this crunch. So we all know throughout the entire industry, we've got to become more efficient. We've got to find new ways of making things. But we can't lose our creativity. So, I'm sure we've all been about 700 panels that tell us that AI is going to do absolutely everything and it's fine. We'll just press a button, make game, and hey, it's all done. It costs us 20 cents. Everything's fantastic. But there actually are some astounding uses of AI that drive creative. Even if it's even in our concept artists, they're just using, an image software to help generate 50 ideas for something, and then their skills, their talents are what can craft that into something amazing. We don't hire any less people. We don't do any less creative work. But those people are becoming more efficient. What it actually means is we can go wider. So, I'm not looking at, hey, can we use AI in a way that I can hire less people? It's, hey, can we use AI in a way where I can either make a game quicker or make a game bigger or make more games? That, to me, I think is how we should be preparing for these kind of technologies. How do these technologies help us empower creatives to make better products that will sell more? Because dirty secret, we do have to make money. But not in a way of where I do hear, some murmurs of, well, how do we use this to replace people? We can replace people with AI if we want every single studio to make the same game.
Right.
Because it's derivative technology.
Yeah.
We need the creativity of humans. We need the creativity of the old folks like me and the new people coming through with fresh ideas. That's going to empower the industry. So for me, preparation is embracing these new technologies in a way that empowers us to make greater things, not in a way of replacing creative people.
Wow. That sounds good. And so Itsuno-san, we just had a very secret talk during Steve's speech, sharing his thoughts. So I also want to ask Itsuno-san the same question about the latest trend of the AI topics, because a lot of people have been talking about that, but actually this question was not on our list. So I asked if Itsuno-san is willing to talk about that. So if there's anything inappropriate, please, the LIGHTSPEED Studios PR team, please try to modify the press kit. Thank you.
そうですね、AI は現在結構流行っているじゃないですか。AI が人間の想像力を決めることが、それは今たくさんの人が話して、先ほどスティーブも、己の観点をちょっと皆さんに共有しましたが、磯野さんはいかがでしょう、AI 今流行っていることは。
はい、そうですね、ゲーム開発者としてはめちゃめちゃ興味ある反面、脅威でもあるんですけど、ただ今現在実際使っているところでいくと、非常にゲーム制作においては時間短縮できる、要するに使わなくていい労力のところは AI に任してしまって、で我々は新しいものを作る、要するに AI になんぼヒントを与えても出てこないものは僕らが出してっていう形で使っていけば、コスト削減にはなっていくので、積極的に活用できるものをしていきたいし、実際に今 AI 使って制作時間の短縮とか、特にプロトタイプ制作の段階では非常に有効なので活用していってます。製品版もうちょっと先になるんで、製品版でも使えるような AI いっぱい出てきたら嬉しいなと思ってます。
はい、了解しました。So talking about AI, my opinion is my take to AI is a bit. I'm very thrilled to see what's happening lately, but also I feel that AI is a kind of the threat. So it's like a two sides. So I think my perspective is I think we can always positively and proactively think about how to use AI to shorten something that which always costs a lot of time but don't need a lot of creativity by using AI technology, which is very useful. But as a creator, we are obligated and we are also always responsible for delivering things that AI cannot do, which is why we are called like creators. And for the future, I think right now we are trying to explore the possibility by using AI to create something very early stage to do the verification, such as the prototype production, which is a very interesting and productive method for enhancing developers' daily work. For the product which is to be shown to the audience, to the customers when it comes to the market, I think we will see in the next couple of years. Yeah. So the next question I also want to ask, because Itsuno-san is also very well known by a lot of the Japanese style action RPGs that he made. So I want to ask that can you give us a definition of the next generation's Japanese action RPG, seems like that, so, or just as action RPG?
石野さんに対しての質問ですね。
はい、
昔たくさんのアクション RPG みたいな名作つけられた張本に対して、これから次世代のアクション RPG は何なんでしょうか。そのあたりについては定義できますでしょうか。
はい、実は昔からゲーム作るときによそからジャンルを指定されるのめっちゃ嫌いでして、我々は全く新しい遊びを提供しようと思って、なんなら今までゲーム化されてないようなところをゲームにしようと思って頑張ってるのに、いろんなとこから別のとこからこのジャンルのゲームが欲しいですとかと言われて、いやいや俺たちは新しいジャンルになるようなゲームを作りたいと思っていつも まあ、できてるかどうかは別として、新しいジャンルになるようなゲームを作りたいと思って作ってるんで、実はドラゴンズドグマ作る時も、まあ、アクション RPG って分かりやすく言えばそうなんですけど、オープンワールドアクションってやっぱりアクションゲームの範囲の中でオープンワールド遊ぶっていう、アクション RPG というかオープンワールドアクションって新しい名前を付けたかったぐらいなんで、次世代のアクション RPG というよりかは、その新しいジャンル名になるようなゲームっていうのを、まあ、我々作っていかなあかんのちゃうかなとは思ってはいます。
Based on my previous career working in this industry, so at least for me and a lot of people working together with me before, that when we try to create something, that we always try not be trapped by the genre of the game, because when we try to do the concept, the pre-concept of the game, we always, the first thing that pops in our head was we want to make something really, really brand new, rather than we want to make an action or RPG or something like that. So we do not want to be restricted or grounded or trapped by this kind of the concept. So taking Dragon's Dogma as the example, so while we made that game, we just simply tried to make an action game which is based on the technology to be shown as the open world concept. So that's all. So when we talk about the future, the AAA RPG or action game, so I like not to give it a very specific definition. And let's see, because creation is always full of the uncertainty. Okay. So I guess for the prepare the question list, I think that's pretty much everything that we covered. And for the next part, I guess because we got a lot of the people, developers and media friends, so we are going to enter the Q&A session to see if everybody, anyone who's interested asking these two gentlemen questions. So yeah, how many minutes we have? Okay, 10 minutes. So I'll give you 5, because the last one, after the Q&A, we will have the photograph session, autograph session. So yeah, anybody wants to ask questions?
Hi. First of all, thank you for the Q&A session and for answering all these questions. I was a bit curious about your opinion, since you expressed the wish that development is cheaper in coming years, so that we can reduce how long it takes to make a game. And
so this question is for Itsuno-san, right? Or
yeah,
for,
I mean,
okay.
it's for both of you, I would believe, if you share the same feelings.
Can you raise your voice a little louder?
Yeah, of course.
My ears are
So I was wondering if you believe if part of the issue also relies in the increased scope of modern games in a world where people have too much to consume and have less time to spend in games while companies continue to make bigger and longer games. What I'm trying to ask is if you believe if one of the ways of finding cheaper ways to make games could rely in reducing scope and a benefit of increasing the quality. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and it's a brilliant point. I mean, I love to complete games. I generally don't have time to, so, if I get something, I remember I decided I was going to give Hogwarts like 5 to 7 hours, and then I played 50 or 60 because it was awesome. But there are games there where it's like, look, 150 hours of gameplay, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to buy the game, because if I'm buying the game for $70, there's about $50 of that I'm never going to see, because I haven't got time to play that much of a game. And it won't be too long till the next season of Stranger Things comes out, and I'm going to have to do that with my time, or something else is coming down the line. So I do think that we need to be giving people value for money, but not a ton of content that they're never going to see. So for me, if I play like a story-based game, like a Last of Us 2 or something, I kind of top out around 20 hours. I think that's good for me. Give me some other content I can run off and do. And I think Hogwarts is a good example. There's lots to go do if you want, but you don't feel like you've missed out on the game. So I do think as well we need a little bit of self-control as developers to not make a 50-hour game that someone's going to play for 10 hours and then complain that our costs were too high. We should have made a 15-hour game. So yes, absolutely. Sorry, easy answer is yes.
Okay.
But it's a very, very, very good question, and I think it's one we need to ask ourselves a bit more.
And you
often.
also want the replies from Itsuno-san, right?
Yeah, of course.
ゲームのスコープとボリュームの削減することがコストを抑えれる。
はい、スティーブの言ったことは僕も大賛成なんですけども、僕ディレクター職なんでゲームを発売したやつが一番偉いディレクターやと思ってます。なので、ディレクターとしてはもしコスト多くなってしまったとか期間延長してしまいそうな時にここ削っても大丈夫っていうところを、最初から計画した上でゲーム作りをするのが、ちゃんと量産できるディレクターの仕事の一つかなとは思っているので、質問の答えで言うと発売するためにあんまり遊びが少なくならないように削るのは計算しているディレクターはいますよっていうことです。
So I kind of agree what Steve just mentioned because I'm always active as the game director, as you guys are aware of. So to be a qualified director, it's always very important to ship the game and to make it to be purchased on the market. If not, it will be a failure. So when I always come to our decision that if we want to extend the time to develop a game or something like that, but my top priority is if we can ship the game successfully. So if we want to achieve that and to sacrifice something, I think that should always be a qualified director to consider. So he also wants to echo Steve's opinion as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing more of Last Sentinel.
Thanks.
Okay, next one.
Hello. First of all, thanks for the chance to speak to gentlemen a veteran of this game industry. So I'm a college student who graduated this summer, and my question is, as the technology advances, the standards in the game industry is getting higher and higher. So my question is, for the entry-level environment artist, what do you expect to the younger artists to do join the AAA game studio? I know the quality and ability is the most important thing, but I want to hear advice about that.
So new people, young men joining
young people,
AAA studio, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is difficult. I mean, I will tell you, when it comes to joining a AAA studio, it took me 10 years of working in the games industry. So, I mean, I do think sometimes people are like, how do I join a AAA studio? It's like, that shouldn't be your first aim. Mm-hmm. Kind of. I mean, it does work for some people, mm-hmm. but there are a lot of incredible developers out there, and sometimes in a smaller studio, you learn a lot more because you get to interact with a lot more people. So I would cast the net wide. Mm-hmm. I would definitely suggest that. When we look to bring people in, honestly, attitude is a huge part of it. Like, hey, I'm willing to help out however I can. I want to learn from my, fellow developers. I respect my fellow developers. I respect the diversity of the studio. I'm committed to making these games. I know it sounds a little trite to say that, but I bring in a junior. I can't teach you how to love doing the job. I can teach you how to do the job, but coming in with a passion and a good attitude is priceless. So I would say, always be positive and always consider yourself someone who's there to work with and help your fellow developers, because if you're not doing it as a team, you're not going to make anything good anyway. But definitely cast the net wide. There are some amazing indie developers and smaller developers out there where you might have an easier time learning the industry.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
同じ、小さいスタジオと大きいスタジオどっちでも働ける人っていうのは万能なんで、それはもう全然 その人はその人でいいと思うんですけど、大きいスタジオでのみ働く可能性を追求したいんであれば、卓越した一つの技術、圧倒的な技術を身につけた方がいいかなっていうのが一つと、いろんな人種、文化、ゲームの作り方の人と仲良くゲーム作れる、コミュニケーション能力とあればいいのかな。小さいところだとそれだけではやっていけない、いろんなことやらなきゃダメだけど、大きいところに限定しているのなら、卓越した技術とそれがあればいいかなと思います。
So Itsuno-san saying that actually he also wants to agree with what Steve just said, but additionally he also wants to emphasize that if you really insist that you really want to join the AAA studio or the big studio, that perhaps you may need to master something very, very impressive, the skill. And also not only the skill, you also need to acquire something that which can make you very easy to communicate, the communication skill, because always like, a AAA studio is always full of people from different regions and cultures and countries, and how you manage to talk to them and to make them working together in a harmony way. So this is also very important. So yeah, thank you.
That's a great point.
And
Thank you so much.
thank you. And we will have the last gentleman to ask a question because of the time is almost there. So for the people who still waiting in line, the Lightspeed Studio representative will give you guys the stickers as the ringband. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'll be very quick. So one of the things I'm really curious about when developing a new IP is it's great that you guys are really focused on originality and bringing something new to the market, but I was wondering how much of it is also being informed by like market research or understanding what's currently accessible to the players, because it sounds like there could be a bit of a tension between bringing something new but something that's familiar. And of course, we are in the industry to sell games, and we don't want to alienate potential players because it's so unfamiliar with them, because it's so auteur, I guess, or so new. So how do you guys find a balance between bringing something original but also familiar for the audience?
Can I go? It's a real good question. I mean, there is a massive balance between the two, and it's when do you go from originality to just derivative? So for me, there are certain things that I don't need originality on when I play a game. Don't make shooting a gun anything except the right trigger. I don't need to relearn that skill. We've got that down. I want to aim, I use my left trigger. Like, you don't need to go innovate that. But maybe the experience that I'm having with a weapon or a vehicle, you're going to innovate that. So for me, it's innovate on the experience, innovate on the characters, the stories, the gameplay, but don't ask too much of your player. Don't be like, well, you've just been playing Call of Duty. Then you went and you played Fortnite, and then you went and you played the latest Need for Speed. Okay, you're going to come into my game now. We've got a whole different mechanism for doing everything, and go learn it now. Because people just don't want to bounce between games at that point, and right now people do bounce between games. So to me, it's making sure that I'm giving accessibility to the new experiences and not putting up a barrier between you and me, you know what I mean? So it's like I say, if all of a sudden in order to shoot the gun, I have to throw my PS5 controller and twirl it 3 times, you're putting a barrier between me and having some fun. So just let me pull that right trigger. So I guess to summarize, I would say innovate where it's giving something really cool to the player they're going to. Don't innovate out of ego because I want to show you that I'm smart. Trust me, I play games and I can tell when the designer's trying to tell me that the designer's really, really smart, and I'm generally not having any fun. So I guess that probably summarizes it for me.
Okay, do you want to? Yeah,
Yes, please, thank you.
スティーブの言ったことは僕も 100% 同じ
Yeah, agree with you
同意
100%.
だから逆にだからそれは僕らが商売でやってるからです。商売でやってないにやったらめちゃくちゃ新しいやつ作るか、めちゃめちゃ知ってる大好きなアニメとか漫画の ゲームにするかどっちかに推理します。趣味で作るんだったら。はい。
So I 100% agree with what Steve mentioned, and because we are doing business, making game is also kind of the business, the product. So we need to sell to the customers. So we're not completely innovate or create something from brand new. We're just we are also a bunch of people inspired by a lot of the cultures we like, the mangas or animation. So and we make something new based on that.
Yeah, I sort of add to it as well. She did ask about market research. I think it's a very, very valuable market research, but it will only tell you what people currently like. If you go and ask 100 people what kind of game do you want, they'll say, well, give me some of that game and some of that game, because they know what they like. So I think it's a very valuable tool in double checking some assumptions that you've made about what may be good, but it can't tell you how to make a game. You have to actually invent that yourself, and that's very, very, very hard. As an example, we did market research at the beginning of Last Sentinel, and we were looking at, hey, which styles of sci-fi do people like? Because I knew I wanted to make a traditional cyberpunk game, like things like Blade Runner and Kira, things like that. Hey, is that still something everyone else thinks is cool? Just because I think it's cool, maybe I'm old and I'm wrong. Cyberpunk rated bottom on all sci-fi genres until you showed them an image. Then it rated top. Okay, people just didn't know what cyberpunk was. This was before Cyberpunk 2077 came out. And generally, people didn't know what it was, so they said they didn't like it. But as soon as you showed them the image, they were like, no, we absolutely love that. So again, market research has to be handled carefully because you've got to ask the right questions. Otherwise, you may get the wrong answer. Last thing I just want to say really quickly for anyone else like me who as a developer and a game fan, it's very nerve-wracking to sit next to Itsuno-san and say something. Having him say he agrees is an awesome feeling. I'll tell you.
So
thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
So thank you, everyone, to have you here for the past 1 hour. It was a pleasure to, and also if you guys have any PlayStation disc you want the autograph, we can do the photo shoot, and we will got 5 minutes, okay? So thank you. The panel session is over. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.